PFL Champions Series 2. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. I'm looking forward to my brother Alex breaking down the entire PFL card. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure you share the video too. Alex holding the fort down with PFL for us once again. The man who needs no introduction. Here's my brother. Let's get the breakdown started.
What is going on, everybody? Long time no see, but we are back with the PFL predictions. In this one, we got the PFL Champions Series 2, Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. And this is the rematch between these two, and I'm excited to break down this whole entire card and give you guys my picks. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into the first fight of the night. So first fight of the night, we got Jarrah Al-Silawi taking on Gregory Babene. And in this fight, I'm going Gregory Babene to get it done. Gregory Babene, he kind of likes pushing on the front foot, throwing big, explosive, wide shots. And I kind of see Al-Silawi getting hit by that. Al-Silawi likes staying on the back foot, kind of staying at range and keeping his opponents at the distance. But in this fight with Gregory Babene, I think he's going to run into some problems because Babene is kind of like an awkward striker. He kind of throws shots from a lot of different angles, and I see Al-Silawi getting caught. Al-Silawi is going to be trying to keep the distance on Babene and not engage in the pocket with him, but I think Babene's going to stay on the front foot, pressure Al-Silawi back against the cage, and land some big, heavy shots. And I could potentially see Babene getting a knockout in this fight. So I'm going Babene to get it done. I think he's going to be able to do enough and land some big shots on Al-Silawi. The odds on this fight, we got Silawi sitting at a minus 115, and Gregory Babene is the minus 105. So these lines are pretty even, but I think Gregory Babene is going to be able to land the better shots. Gregory Babene, I think he's got more power, he's got more pop on the feet, and I see that throwing off Al-Silawi. Al-Silawi's going to be trying to keep him off of him, but I think Babene's just going to be able to close the distance, come in on Al-Silawi, and land some huge shots on him. So I see him getting this fight done. I think he's going to pick up a finish over Al-Silawi in this fight. Next fight of the night, we got Makasharib Zaynukov taking on John Mitchell. And this is one of those fights where I was kind of going back and forth. Obviously, Zaynukov trains with Khabib. He's a scary Russian. And a lot of people are expecting him to be able to control the pace of this fight, get the fight to the ground, mix in some strikes with the takedowns. But John Mitchell is going to have the slight range advantage. He's going to have the height advantage. And he's going to... I see him causing some problems for Zaynukov. I see John Mitchell potentially being able to keep the fight at range and keep Zaynukov at the end of his shots. And I've been wanting to go John Mitchell. I don't know if I'm crazy for that, but I'm kind of thinking John Mitchell, the Irishman, is going to be able to beat Zaynukov. Zaynukov, we just saw him pick up a win over Izumi where they went to this decision, and he was able to control that fight pretty easily. But we saw Zaynukov, he tends to maybe get a little, he starts feeling the fight in the later rounds. By the third round, he starts getting a little tired, a little sluggish, and I think John Mitchell might be able to squeeze out this decision win. So I'm going to go John Mitchell, the underdog here. I think he's going to be able to keep the distance on Zaynukov, and I see him stopping the takedowns, and I see the long, lengthy shots of John Mitchell causing a lot of problems for Zaynukov. So I'm going John Mitchell to get this fight done. Maybe I'm fucking nuts for picking John Mitchell, but the odds on this fight, we got Zaynukov sitting at a minus 310, and John Mitchell is the plus 260. But for some reason, something's telling me to go John Mitchell. I think he's going to be able to keep the fight at range, and I think he's going to frustrate Zaynukov, and I think he's going to be landing a lot of shots from the outside. He kind of stands in a, I would kind of say it's like a Muay Thai-ish kickboxing style. He stays very tight and throws a lot of long, lengthy shots, and I see him being able to pepper up Zaynukov and win this fight by a decision. Zaynukov is going to be mixing it up. It's going to be a close fight. He's going to be trying to get the fight to the ground, but I see John Mitchell stopping the takedowns, and I see him mixing it up well on the feet and catching Zaynukov with some good straight shots. So I'm going John Mitchell to get it done. I can see him winning this fight by decision, and I like him to win here. Maybe I'm nuts. A lot of people are going to be disagreeing with me on this pick, but I'm going John Mitchell, the cork horse, to get this fight done, the Irishman. I think he's going to be able to do enough to win this fight by decision. Next fight of the night, we got Takeshi Izumi taking on Vinicius Cenci. And in this fight, I'm going Vinicius Cenci to get it done. He's got more range, and I think he's going to be able to mix it up on the feet, land some big shots on Izumi. Izumi's going to be trying to close the distance and getting in on Cenci, trying to push him up against the cage and using the grappling. But Senci's got very solid jiu-jitsu, and if this fight gets on the ground, I think he's dangerous off his back. I think he's going to be shooting up a lot of submissions, and I'm thinking Vinicius Cenci could potentially get a submission win in this fight. But if not, I even see him landing some big shots on the feet against Izumi. Izumi, he's originally from Ryzen, and in my opinion, I don't think he's that great. He likes to kind of pressure his opponents up against the cage, use the grappling, and kind of smother them. But I think Vinicius Cenci is going to be able to catch him on the feet. And if he does end up getting taken down, I see him being very dangerous off his back. I think Vinicius Cenci is the way to go in this fight. So I'm taking Cenci to get this fight done. The odds on this fight, we got Izumi taking, he's sitting at a plus 170, and Vinicius Cenci is the minus 200. Vinicius Cenci, I really do see him being able to kind of control this fight. Izumi's going to be trying to pressure him, and we'll probably see at times Cenci up against the cage kind of getting smothered. But I think in the end, I think Senci's going to be able to connect with some big shots on the feet. He kind of throws big explosive combinations in the pocket. So I think he's a threat on the feet. And even if he gets taken down, he's very lengthy. He's got good jiu-jitsu, and I see him getting a submission win over Izumi. That's going to be my call. I think Cenci gets this fight done by a sub. So I'm going Vinicius Cenci to get this fight done. Next fight of the night, we got Luann Sardinha taking on Murfazal Akhtamov. And in this fight, I like Akhtamov to get it done. I like the way he throws his big overhand shots. He's got very solid striking, and I think he's got a lot of pop on the feet. And this is I would say this is a confident pick for me. I think Akhtamov is going to land some huge shots on Sardinha. Sardinha, he is a durable striker. He's got decent grappling, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much against Akhtamov's striking. Akhtamov's got a very solid, I would kind of describe it as the Soviet-style boxing. They do a nice little bounce in their shots and then come and throw big overhand punches. And I see Sardinha getting cracked on the chin in this fight, and I see him get knocked out. So I'm going Akhtamov to win this fight by a finish. Sardinha, he's going to be trying to mix it up on the feet, but I think Akhtamov is going to be able to land some big, huge shots. In his last fight, Akhtamov picked up a loss by doctor stoppage against Adrian Sanchez, where in that fight, he was beating up Sanchez. Sanchez had a couple decent moments, but overall, Akhtamov was dominating, beating him up. And in this fight against Sardinha, I think he's going to come with vengeance. He's pissed about that stoppage loss to the doctor. And I see Sardinha getting chinned in this fight. I think Akhtamov is going to be able to land some huge shots on Sardinha, and I see him get knocked out. I see Akhtamov being able to land a huge overhand. I think he puts him to sleep. So I'm going Akhtamov to win this fight by a knockout. The odds on this fight, we got Sardinha sitting at a minus 145, and Akhtamov is the plus 125 underdog. Personally, those lines are interesting to me because I think Akhtamov is the better all-around fighter. I think he's going to be landing huge shots on the feet. You could say maybe Sardinha is going to be a little more physically superior. He's going to maybe be a little bit bigger, a little more size on him, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for Akhtamov. I think he's going to be able to land and connect with some big shots. Sardinha, I feel like he tends to leave his head on the center line, and I think Akhtamov is going to be able to capitalize on that and to connect with that chin. So I'm going Akhtamov to win this fight by a knockout. I think he sleeps him with a big overhand right. Next fight of the night, we got Omar Dafrawy taking on Florim Zendeli. Zendeli, decent grappler. He's going to be trying to use the ground game in this fight. But I think Dafrawy is going to be a little too much for him on the feet. I think Dafrawy is going to be the stronger fighter. I think he's going to be able to stop the takedowns of Zendeli. And I see Zendeli getting hit with some big shots on the feet, and I can see him getting finished. I think Dafrawy is going to be able to get a knockout in this fight. I like the way he strikes. He's got big power in his shots, and I can't really see him getting taken down too many times in this fight. Zendali's coming off that win against Michele. Both of these guys are coming off a win against Michele, both by sub. But in this fight, I think Dafrawy is going to be able to get it done over Zendeli. I think Zendali's going to be able to, he's going to be getting hit big on the feet. He's going to be trying to mix in the takedowns, use the grappling, but I don't think that's going to be enough to win him this fight. I think Dafrawy is going to be too big for him, too strong, and I see Dafrawy being able to dominate this fight. The odds on this one, we got Dafrawy sitting at a minus 145, and Florim Zendeli is the plus 125. Underdog, Zendeli, I think, gets chinned in this fight. I think we'll see a good finish in this one for Dafrawy, and I see him winning the fight. Next fight of the night, we got Pouya Rahmani taking on Slim Trabelsi. These two did a grappling match in Karate Combat, and Rahmani was able to win the grappling exchanges, and now they're fighting in the PFL, and I see Rahmani being able to beat up Trabelsi in this fight. Rahmani is a very high-level grappler, and I like his wrestling, and I think he's going to be able to get this fight to the ground fast. He's going to come out, shoot a quick double leg, and I think we could potentially see an early finish, or he's going to be able to just grind on top and grind out maybe a late win or a decision win over Trabelsi. But Trabelsi, he's got decent striking, solid pop on his feet. He throws big shots. He's got a lot of power. But I don't think that's going to be enough to stop Rahmani's takedowns, and I think Rahmani's going to walk through him. He's also got decent striking. He's able to mix it up a little bit on the feet, but ultimately he likes to get the fights to the ground. And I see Rahmani being able to do just that, and I see him getting the fight to the ground against Trabelsi and winning this fight by either a submission, or he just ground and pounds him, or he could win it by decision. It could kind of go any way for Rahmani, and I think he's going to win this fight. The odds on this one, we got Rahmani sitting at a minus 365, and Trabelsi is the plus 290. Trabelsi, his best bet is if he's going to try to keep the fight standing, land some big shots. He has good grappling as well, but I don't think the grappling's going to be enough to stop Rahmani. I think Rahmani's the better grappler out of the two, and I see Rahmani winning this fight. So I'm going Rahmani to get this fight done. I'm not sure exactly which way to go. I think he could get a submission. I think he could ground and pound him, or I could see him winning a decision. But I think ultimately Rahmani's going to be able to get it done over Trabelsi. Next fight of the night, we got Jack Cartwright taking on Colgan Loughran. Cartwright, we saw him in the Contender Series. He got a loss to Jose Johnson. And then Colgan Loughran, he had 4 fights in the UFC. His last fight, he took the split decision win over Nathan Fletcher. And in this fight, Colgan Loughran is going to be too much for Cartwright. Cartwright, you can maybe say he could maybe have a slight grappling edge, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the fight to the ground. I think Colgan Loughran's going to be pressuring this fight, staying on the front foot, using a heavy pressure style, and smothering Cartwright with a lot of big shots on the feet. I think Loughran's going to be landing some big punches. I think he's going to be connecting to Cartwright, and I think we could see a finish for Loughran in this fight. But Cartwright, I think he's going to be getting hit with some big shots, and I see him getting smothered and just walked down in this fight. I think Loughran's going to be cutting off the cage and just connecting with big shots, and I see him winning this fight. Loughran is the minus 425 favorite, and Cartwright is the plus 325 underdog. Cartwright, his way to win is if he can get the fight to the ground, but I can't really see him being able to do that. I think Loughran's going to be too much of a physical threat. He's going to be stronger in the clinch, and I don't see him getting taken down. I think he's going to be stopping the takedowns at Cartwright, and I see Cartwright getting fucking tagged up on the feet. So I'm going Loughran to get this fight done. We could potentially see Loughran get a finish in this one, but I don't know. I might lean towards a decision. I feel like Cartwright is pretty durable. So I'm going Loughran to win this fight. Next fight of the night, we got Archie Colgan taking on J.J. Wilson. And this is one of those fights where I was considering the underdog for a little bit. But then I really thought about it, and I said, why am I going to do that? Archie Colgan's going to be too much for J.J. Wilson. Archie Colgan, high-level wrestler, NCAA, and I see him slamming J.J. Wilson. And even if the fight stays on the feet, you could try to make the argument that J.J. Wilson has a slight advantage because he's going to be trying to keep the fight at range. But Archie Colgan's got some solid boxing. He's got a lot of pop on the feet, and I think J.J. Wilson's going to probably get tagged on the feet, and then he's going to get blast double leg to the ground. J.J. Wilson, he's also got decent submissions, so he's going to be trying to throw up some subs from the bottom. But I think Archie Colgan's top pressure and ground game is going to be a little too much, and I think that'll be the deciding factor. And I see Archie Colgan being able to win the fight. The odds, we got Archie Colgan sitting at a minus 340, and J.J. Wilson is the plus 280 underdog. I can't really see J.J. Wilson. Like, can I see him maybe? I don't know. Maybe if he tries to keep the fight at distance and he's able to pepper up Archie Colgan from the outside. Maybe if he ends up getting like some crazy submission, he could maybe tap out Archie Colgan. But overall, I think Archie Colgan is the smart pick in this fight. Colgan should be able to get this fight done, and I see him beating J.J. Wilson in this fight. Next fight of the night, we got Magomedov taking on Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis, we just saw him in a close fight with Raufeon Stots, where I thought he gave a decent fight. I don't think Raufeon Stots really dominated. It was very back and forth, that fight. Magomedov is coming off that win against Magomedov, where very close fight with them two as well. But Magomedov was able to squeeze out that decision win. And in this fight, I'm going Magomed to win the fight. I think he's a little too fast on the feet, and I think the ground game is going to be a little too much for Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis does have solid striking, but I think Magomedov is a little quicker on the feet, and I think his grappling's better. So realistically, I think Magomedov's the better all-around fighter. Sergio Pettis is going to be trying to keep the fight standing, land some good shots from the outside, but I see Magomedov being able to control the pace of this fight. So I'm going Magomed to win this fight. I would say by decision. I don't really see Sergio Pettis getting finished, but I do see Magomed being able to beat him by decision. The odds on this one, we got Magomedov sitting at a minus 255, and Sergio Pettis is the plus 215 underdog. Sergio Pettis, solid striker, but in this fight with Magomedov, I think he's going to be a little bit outclassed. I think Magomedov is going to be able to connect on the feet, and then he's going to be mixing in the takedowns, which is going to cause a lot of problems for Sergio Pettis, and I see Sergio Pettis losing the fight. So I'm going Magomed to win this fight by decision. Next fight of the night, we're on to the co-main event. We got the rematch between Corey Anderson and Dovlet Yagshimuradov. And Dovlet, we could say he's got more power in his punches. He could land a big shot and potentially knock out Corey Anderson. But I don't see that happening. In their last fight, we saw Corey Anderson kind of controlling the pace, staying on the front foot, cutting off the ring, and landing some decent shots on the feet. And he was able to mix in some grappling as well. And I kind of see this fight going the same as their first one. Corey Anderson, I think he's going to be able to stay a little more technically sound, mix in some strikes, and then he's going to be shooting for the takedowns and getting the fight to the ground. Dovlet Yagshimuradov is going to be trying to land some big, heavy shots. He's going to be throwing wide power shots, but I don't think Corey Anderson's going to get two-phased. I think Corey Anderson's going to stay composed. I think he's going to stick on the jab, stick with the 1-2s, keep the fight on the feet, or keep it smart on the feet, and then get the fight to the ground and pressure Yagshimuradov against the cage, smother him, use the clinch, and I see Corey Anderson winning this fight. I think we could potentially see another finish for Corey Anderson in this one. So I'm going Corey Anderson to get it done. I think we'll probably, I don't know. I think this fight's going to be similar to the first one. Corey Anderson is the minus 180 favorite, and Yagshimuradov is the plus 155. Could you make the argument that Yagshimuradov could potentially knock out Corey Anderson? Yes, but I can't pick Yagshimuradov based on a puncher's chance, and I feel like that's kind of what Yagshimuradov has, is the puncher's chance to knock out Corey Anderson. But I think Corey Anderson is the better fighter out of these two, especially he's already beaten him before. And I see this fight going the same way as it did in their last one. So I'm going Corey Anderson to win this fight. I think we could see another finish for Corey Anderson. Now, on to the main event. We got Usman Nurmagomedov taking on Paul Hughes. We got another rematch here. And this is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm going Paul Hughes to win this fight. Usman Nurmagomedov, in their last fight, he was able to win the decision. But Paul Hughes was able to sit in there with him, have some decent moments. Usman Nurmagomedov was able to kind of just stay at range, land some shots on the outside. Decent grappling exchanges, but I don't know. Something's been telling me Paul Hughes is going to come in this fight looking sharp, looking crisp. And I see Paul Hughes getting the win in this rematch over Usman Nurmagomedov. In the last round, we saw Paul Hughes kind of coming on strong, landing some decent shots. And I don't know, in this fight, I think Paul Hughes is going to control the pace. I think he's going to be pressing Usman Nurmagomedov back against the cage. And I see him winning this fight. I think he's going to be throwing more punches in this fight. I think his output's going to be higher than the last fight these two had. And I see Paul Hughes being able to get it done. I like Paul Hughes to win this rematch. So I'm going Paul Hughes to win this fight. The odds, we got Usman Nurmagomedov sitting at a minus 225. And Paul Hughes is the plus 190 underdog. But I think Paul Hughes is going to be able to win this fight. I'm going the Irishman, Paul Hughes, to beat Nurmagomedov in their rematch. I think Paul Hughes will probably... It'll be a close fight. It's not going to be a one-sided domination. But I do think Paul Hughes is going to be able to land the better shots on the feet. I don't think Usman Nurmagomedov is going to be able to dominate. And I see Usman Nurmagomedov losing the fight. Paul Hughes is going to be on the front foot, pushing a lot of heavy pressure. And I think he's going to be able to smother Usman Nurmagomedov in this fight. He's going to be having high output. He's not fucking around. He's coming into this rematch trying to fucking avenge that loss. And I see him doing just that. So I'm going Paul Hughes to win this fight. I think he defeats Usman Nurmagomedov by a decision. So those are my full card predictions for the PFL Champions Series 2. I hope you guys enjoyed my picks. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.